What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch back here with another NFL record prediction for the 2020 regular season. In this video, I'm going to break down the G-Men's 2020 NFL schedule and determine what their record will be if this team will take positive strides forward in 2020 with Daniel Jones and Saquon and with a new coaching staff. Promising days for the Giants, but are they just one or two seasons away from being the contender that they used to be? Let's find out. Let me give them a record. All right, before I do give them that record, make sure you do Gronk spike the like button. Subscribe to the Bottom Line View for more NFL videos just like this. And comment below your opinion, Giants fans. Let me know what you think the G-Men will do in 2020. You think they're a surprise team this year and shock the world and go to the playoffs, or do you think they're still one or two seasons away from doing so? Let me know in the comments, and also let me know what their record will be. All right, let's take a look at that schedule, and it starts off with an absolute doozy versus the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday Night Football. They play the return of Ben Roethlisberger, and because of that, I'm going to say they lose, okay? I think the Giants might give them a little bit of a tougher game they're expecting here, and maybe the Steelers a little rusty because Ben is coming off of an injury, but I do think the Steelers' defense is enough to give young Daniel Jones in this offense a little bit of a tough time, so I'm going to go with the Steelers in this game. Week 2, they play the Bears. This game is definitely not unreasonable that they can win this game. This game is on the road, though, which will make it difficult, and when you really look at what the Giants can do, I think if Saquon doesn't have a good game, which I think is likely when you play the Bears, that it's hard to run versus them because they have such a dominant front seven, I think that leads me to believe that the Bears will win this game. If Trubisky is starting, I might lean the other way, though. Week 3, they play San Francisco at home. Again, a game that I just think, they're overwhelmed here in terms of the front. The front of the 49ers on defense is really, really good. And on the opposite side of the ball, they have one of the best schemers in the league. And I just don't think the Giants have enough talent defensively to beat the 49ers. So I'm going to go with the 49ers. Week 4, they play the LA Rams. This is another game here, I would say, like the Bears, where they could win, even though it's on the road. This game is probably end up going to be a shootout. I definitely could see that. But I'm going to give it to the Rams, and the reason being is it's in LA and it's cross-country. Second thing, I think Aaron Donald is going to be difficult to stop if you're the Giants. And I do think Sean McVay can do enough to scheme up versus defense, which I just don't believe in enough. Now, week 5, I think they're going to pick up their first win versus Dallas. This is the Jason Garrett revenge game. I do think they'll lose the last game to Giants in week 17, to the Cowboys in week 17. They'll split with the Cowboys this year. I think they'll split with every team in their division. So they'll pick up 3 wins there and 3 losses. So they'll beat Washington in week 6, and they'll lose to Washington when Washington comes off the bye in week 9. I do think that in week 7 versus Philadelphia, they're going to win. Now, the reason I brought this up in the Eagles' schedule, okay, this is a Thursday nighter. The Eagles, before this game, play like the absolute worst schedule you could possibly ask for. I think they play like the 49ers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Ravens, which are like 3 of the most physical teams in the NFL. 3 games in a row, and then they play a Thursday nighter versus you Giants. So I'm going with the Giants to win 3 games in a row here. So they're going to be 3-3 in week 7. If they can win this game versus Tom Brady and the Bucs at home, we might be talking about the Giants potentially being a team that could push for a playoff run here. But I think that the Bucs are going to win, but it's going to be a really close game. I actually could see the Giants pulling off a victory here. The game they played last year was really exciting and back and forth, and I'm hoping for a game like that, like it was last year. But I just think Tom Brady and these receivers versus the secondary of the Giants, which I do feel is still unproven and not very good, and they don't really have the pass rushers to get after Brady like they used to. I think that the Bucs win the game. Week 10, they play the Eagles, and the Eagles will get their revenge. So then, after winning 3 games, they drop 3 games, and that's going to be rough. Week 12, after the bye, they play Cincinnati. This game could go either way. I think it's likely going to be a shootout type of game. I think, though, the Bengals have a lot of weaponry and a lot of firepower, especially in Cincinnati. This is unfavorable for the Giants, where I just don't think, again, to beat a rookie quarterback, you need to put pressure on him. I don't think the Giants have a lot of guys that can do that, and I don't think they have a lot of corners that can match up with the Bengals receivers. So I'm going to go with the Bengals. Week 13, they play Seattle in Seattle. I think they lose that game, unfortunately. Week 14, that's interesting. I could see them winning that game. I think they beat Arizona. Reason being, I think this game, again, just like the Bengals game, this game will be a shootout. I think when you look at Arizona, I think the Giants can run the ball on the Cardinals with Saquon, keep Kyler off the field, and be able to win a shootout type game at home. Week 15, they play Cleveland. And although I think Cleveland's going to be a really good team this year, like I think they're going to be really improved and actually go to the playoffs, I think this is a game where Cleveland could slip up and lose to the Giants in another shootout game. I think the Giants are going to score a lot of points. I think they're going to be an exciting team. I think they're going to be a team that you don't really want to play because they can create big plays, and Daniel Jones, I think, will be promising. I think Jones this year will throw a lot of touchdowns, but also a lot of interceptions and a lot of yards, and I think they can run the ball well. But their defense, I just don't think is very good. I'm just going to be honest. And Baltimore, they'll lose to Baltimore in Baltimore. So ultimately, I have the Giants 5-11. And I kind of talked about the way I see the Giants. I see them as an exciting team that's probably more exciting and worthy of being in these games at 5-11 than 5-11 really suggests. But I think they're still a year away. If the Giants can develop this year, Daniel Jones has another solid developmental year. And then going into next year, they can build that defense through the offseason and the draft once again. I think next year is the year where you could really expect the Giants to be maybe on the cusp of being a playoff team. But I don't think they're there yet. And I think being that the Dallas Cowboys are here and the Eagles are here, and I think it's a two-man race in the NFC East, I think the Giants are just looking for improvement. And although the record doesn't really suggest a huge improvement, I think it actually is a pretty big improvement here. So I think the Giants could be as good as 7-9 and probably as bad as 4-12. I have them here landing at 5-11 based off their schedule, which I still think is not exactly the easiest, not the most difficult, but playing teams like playing the NFC North, the AFC North is really challenging. Playing the NFC South is really challenging. You could argue, they just play the Bucs, my bad. But playing the AFC North and playing the NFC West is what I really mean to say. And then on top of that, playing the Bucs, who nobody expected the Bucs to be this good if they didn't have Brady, right? You play Dallas and Philly twice, which are two of the top teams in the NFC. You play Seattle, right? Like, Seattle, San Francisco, Arizona is going to be better, and I have them beating Arizona. You play Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Like, that's a lot of teams that could go to the playoffs. So when I'm looking at the schedule, it's challenging. And Cleveland is even a team I think could go to the playoffs. So, yeah, man, this sucks for the Giants this year, but I think they're going to learn from it, grow from it, and get better and be a better team in 2021. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed. If you did, spike the like button, subscribe to the channel for more. It's Mitch. Let me know in the comment section below what you think the Giants record will be. Peace.